Anne Boleyn's life was a tapestry woven with ambition, love, and inevitable tragedy. Born into a world of courtly intrigue and power struggles, she rose to become Queen of England, only to meet her tragic demise just a few short years later. Her story continues to fascinate, a tale of a woman who dared to capture the heart of a king and change the course of history forever. Anne's intelligence and determination propelled her to dizzying heights of power, yet her ambition ultimately proved to be her tragic downfall. This is the story of her captivating ascent and her heart-wrenching fall from grace. Anne's story begins in the idyllic setting of Hever Castle, the family home in Kent. Nestled in the picturesque countryside, Hever Castle was more than just a residence. It was a symbol of the Boleyn family's status and heritage. The castle's stone walls and lush gardens provided a serene backdrop for Anne's early years, a time filled with the innocence and simplicity of childhood. Born around 1501, she was one of 3 children born to Thomas Boleyn and Elizabeth Howard. Her father, Thomas, was a diplomat and courtier, while her mother, Elizabeth, came from the prestigious Howard family. This noble lineage afforded Anne and her siblings a privileged upbringing, surrounded by the trappings of wealth and influence. Her early life was comfortable, steeped in the traditions of the English gentry. The Boleyn children were educated in the arts, languages, and the social graces expected of their class. Anne, in particular, showed a keen intellect and a spirited nature, traits that would serve her well in the years to come. However, Anne's world expanded when she was sent abroad to receive an education in the refined courts of Europe. This decision was not uncommon for families of their standing, as it was believed that exposure to the sophisticated cultures of Europe would polish and prepare young nobles for their future roles. First at the court of Margaret of Austria in the Netherlands, Anne was introduced to a world of intellectual and cultural vibrancy. Margaret's court was a hub of humanist thought and artistic expression, and it was here that Anne began to develop her own tastes and opinions. Then, as a lady-in-waiting to Queen Claude of France, the French court was renowned for its elegance and sophistication, and Anne quickly adapted to its customs and expectations. Serving Queen Claude, Anne learned the intricacies of courtly etiquette and the subtle art of influence. These formative years in sophisticated and cultured environments shaped Anne's wit, her fashion sense, and her understanding of courtly politics. She became fluent in French, a skill that would later set her apart in the English court. Her time in Europe also exposed her to the latest fashions, which she embraced with enthusiasm, earning her a reputation for her stylish and sometimes daring choices. Little did she know, these experiences would prepare her for a destiny she could never have imagined. The knowledge and skills she acquired abroad would become invaluable as she navigated the treacherous waters of the English court. Anne blossomed during her time abroad. She was not just a passive observer, but an active participant in the vibrant life of the courts. Her charm and intelligence won her many admirers, and she began to understand the power of her own presence. She learned French, cultivated a love for music and dance, and absorbed the intricacies of courtly life. Music and dance were not merely pastimes, but essential elements of courtly culture, and Anne excelled in both. Her musical talents and graceful dancing made her a sought-after companion at courtly gatherings. More importantly, she witnessed the power dynamics at play within the French court, observing the influence women could wield in matters of politics and the heart. She saw how queens and noblewomen could shape the course of events through their intelligence, charm, and strategic marriages. Observing the influence women could wield in matters of politics and the heart. This understanding of female power and agency would become a cornerstone of Anne's own approach to life and love. She realized that while the world of men was overtly political, women could exert a subtler yet equally potent form of influence. When Anne eventually returned to England, she brought with her a wealth of experience and a sophisticated worldview. Her time in Europe had transformed her from a young girl into a confident and cultured woman, ready to make her mark on the world. Little did she know, her journey was just beginning, and the skills she had honed abroad would soon be put to the ultimate test in the courts of England. From the serene gardens of Hever Castle to the opulent courts of Europe, Anne Boleyn's early life was a tapestry of experiences that shaped her into one of the most fascinating figures in history. Her story is a testament to the power of education, the influence of culture, and the indomitable spirit of a woman who dared to dream beyond the confines of her birth. In 1522, Anne returned to England, a confident and captivating young woman. She had spent several years in the sophisticated courts of Europe, particularly in France, where she had been a lady-in-waiting to Queen Claude. This experience had polished her manners, sharpened her wit, and given her a worldly charm that was rare among the English nobility. Her European sophistication and quick wit set her apart from other ladies at the English court. Anne's presence was magnetic. She was not just another pretty face, but a woman of substance and intellect. Her ability to engage in lively and intelligent conversation made her a favorite among the courtiers, who were often bored by the more traditional and less educated ladies of the court. She quickly caught the eye of King Henry VIII, a man known for his appreciation of beauty and charm. Henry was immediately struck by Anne's allure, her dark eyes, and her confident demeanor. Unlike many women who sought his favor, Anne did not fawn over him or seek his attention. This only intrigued him more. At the time, Henry was trapped in a loveless marriage to Catherine of Aragon, a marriage that had failed to produce a male heir. Catherine, once a beloved queen, had become a symbol of Henry's frustrations. Their union had produced only one surviving child, a daughter, Mary, and Henry was desperate for a son to secure his dynasty. The king's attention towards Anne was obvious, a stark contrast to his neglect of Queen Catherine. He lavished Anne with gifts and sought her company at every opportunity. The court quickly noticed the shift in Henry's affections, and whispers began to circulate about the possibility of Anne becoming more than just a mistress. Anne, however, was not easily won. She had witnessed the fleeting nature of a king's affections and refused to be just another royal mistress. Anne was acutely aware of the fate of her sister, Mary Boleyn, who had been one of Henry's mistresses and was cast aside when she no longer held his interest. Anne was determined to secure a more permanent and powerful position. She desired marriage, a position as queen, and the power and influence that came with it. Anne's ambition was not just for herself, but for her family. The Boleyns were a rising family, and Anne's elevation to queen would bring them unprecedented power and prestige. This refusal only fueled Henry's desire, setting in motion a chain of events that would irrevocably alter the course of English history. Henry's obsession with Anne led him to question the validity of his marriage to Catherine, and he began to seek ways to annul it. This quest would eventually lead to England's break with the Catholic Church and the establishment of the Church of England. The court buzzed with gossip. Anne's rise to favor was the talk of the court, and everyone had an opinion. Some admired her ambition and intelligence, while others saw her as a dangerous upstart who threatened the established order. The courtiers watched her every move, eager to see how this drama would unfold. Henry's infatuation with Anne was impossible to ignore. He openly admired her, often to the point of neglecting his royal duties. His courtiers noticed the change in him, and many sought to align themselves with Anne, hoping to gain favor with the future queen. His pursuit of her became increasingly brazen, causing a scandal that resonated throughout the country and across Europe. The news of Henry's infatuation with Anne and his desire to annul his marriage to Catherine spread quickly. It was a topic of discussion in every court in Europe, and many were shocked by Henry's willingness to defy the Pope and the Catholic Church. Anne, for her part, navigated the situation with a calculated grace, careful not to alienate the king while also maintaining her dignity and her ambition. She played her role perfectly, neither too eager nor too aloof, always keeping Henry's interest piqued. Anne's ability to balance her ambition with her dignity was a testament to her intelligence and her understanding of the dangerous game she was playing. Henry, consumed by his desire for Anne Boleyn, found himself in a predicament that would alter the course of English history. His infatuation with Anne was not just a fleeting passion, it was an all-consuming obsession that drove him to make unprecedented decisions. Alongside his fervent desire for Anne, Henry was also driven by a pressing need for a male heir. The Tudor dynasty's future depended on it, and Henry was determined to secure his lineage. He sought an annulment from his first wife, Queen Catherine of Aragon, a move that would set off a chain of events no one could have foreseen. Henry claimed that his marriage to Catherine was cursed, a divine punishment for his sin of marrying his brother's widow. This argument was not just a convenient excuse, it was a deeply held belief that Henry used to justify his actions. He was convinced that his lack of a male heir was a sign of God's displeasure. However, the Pope's refusal to grant the annulment was a significant obstacle. Influenced by Catherine's powerful nephew, the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, the Pope's decision only strengthened Henry's resolve. He was not a man to be easily deterred, and this setback only fueled his determination to find a solution. In a bold and unprecedented move, Henry broke with the Catholic Church. He declared himself the supreme head of the Church of England, a title that gave him the authority to annul his own marriage. This act of defiance was not just about his personal desires, it was a statement of his absolute power and control. Finally, in 1533, Henry secretly married Anne Boleyn. This clandestine wedding was a pivotal moment, not just for the couple, but for the entire nation. It marked the beginning of a new era, one that would be defined by religious upheaval and political change. Their marriage was a pivotal moment in English history, a union that would have far-reaching consequences. It was a testament to Henry's determination and his willingness to defy tradition and authority to achieve his goals. This union marked the beginning of the English Reformation, a period of profound religious transformation. Henry's break with the Catholic Church led to the establishment of the Church of England, a move that would forever change the religious landscape of the country. It was a testament to Henry's love for Anne, a love that was powerful enough to shake the foundations of a nation. But it was also a testament to his desperation for a legitimate male heir, a son who could secure the Tudor dynasty and ensure its continuation. Henry's desperation for a male heir was palpable. He believed that a legitimate son was the key to securing his legacy and the future of the Tudor dynasty. This urgency drove him to make bold and controversial decisions that would have lasting impacts on the nation. However, this act of defiance came at a great cost. The break with the Catholic Church and the establishment of the Church of England led to significant religious and political turmoil. The country was divided, and the repercussions of Henry's actions were felt for generations. The religious conflict that ensued threw England into a state of turmoil. People were forced to choose sides, and the nation was plunged into a period of uncertainty and strife. The love that shook a nation had far-reaching consequences, altering the course of English history forever.